Now, if you happen to watch podcast number 89, it looks like it's the same, but there's one slight difference. So the region is the same. Oh, by the way, this should say y equals 0. So the region is the same. It goes from 0 to 2 on the x-axis. So we're talking about rotating this region. But then rotated about the line, x equals 2. So x equals 2 is this vertical line. Rotate it about that line. Now to represent this area, you can represent that with one rectangle. And the rectangle should never go from the same function to itself. So it should go from one function to a different function. Consequently, this one should be vertical. And then no matter where I move it, it would go from the parabola to the x-axis, the parabola to the x-axis. When this rectangle and this line are parallel, that means we're using cylindrical shells. And with the shell method, the formula is 2 pi times the radius times the height, and then dx, or it could be dy, but in this case, it has to move left and right, so that's x. The height, that's just going to be the height of the parabola, so that's going to be the height right there. For the radius, so for radius you have to measure from the axis that you're rotating over to this rectangle. That is going to be 2 minus x, because if you measure from here to here, that's whatever x equals. X equals 0, later x equals 1, x equals 2. And if this side is x and the total is 2, then what's left is 2 minus x. So now actually set up the integral. So we're going to integrate from 0 to 2 pi times the radius, which is 2 minus x. The height of the rectangle goes up to the parabola, so that's negative x squared plus 2x. And that's the setup. Now start working on it. So one thing I could do is factor out 2 pi. And then I would need to multiply this out. So multiply through by a 2. So there would be negative 2x squared. And then this would be plus 4x. And then multiplying this one and this one produces plus x cubed. And then the last one times the last one is going to be minus 2x squared. And then I could even combine like terms. So there would be negative 2x squared and negative 2x squared, so that's going to be negative 4x squared. I prefer to put the x cubed first. And then plus the x, 4x. All right, now find the antiderivatives. For this one, it's going to be x to the 4 over 4. Then this one will be 4x to the 3 over 3. And this one will be x squared over 2, or when you reduce it, that's 2x squared. Evaluate from 0 to 2. So when you substitute a 2, this is going to be 16 divided by 4 is 4. This will be an 8 times 4, so that's negative 32 over 3. And then 2 squared will be 4 times 2 is 8. And then, God love the 0. Plug that in, it's 0. So this right here would be 12 minus 32. 12 minus 32 over 3 is 4/3. And so that equals 8 pi over 3.